Hey guys, this is lesson 10, exercise 2J, the statistical investigation. This will be the last section that we're looking at for the data unit. Now, on your log sheet where it says exercise 2J, the actual questions that you'll be doing, it says teacher driven. This example that we have here is straight from the textbook. So essentially, the actual board notes to this is the question itself. Okay, there is a lot of information to take in for this. Okay, so I'm going to try to not make it as boring as possible, but more informative and as helpful as possible. This is going to be the type of question or sets of questions that you will get for your second SAC. Ideally, you would also have your calculator ready. You will be using the statistics section for this in regards to this question, and also in your SAC as well. Okay, there are going to be some new skills that you'll be learning from this section. Not too tricky, but quite a bit to take in. Okay, so normally when dealing with raw data sets, it is left up to us investigating to decide on the best stat tools to use and to also analyze the data and also make appropriate conclusions, and then using that information via report. And there are a few things that you have to consider when you write a report, because it's easy to just look at data and then just write a report to fit what we think is best as a conclusion, but you've got to have certain criteria. Okay, so the things you have to consider: the type of data that you have, whether it's numerical, categorical, whether it's both, only one of these specific types. What type of graphs you think is best suited for the type? So are they histogram or box plots? So it just depends on your variability, the spread, what type of data is presented to you. Summary statistics. So the five number summary statistics, IQRs, ranges. What do you think is important for your data and why? Characteristics of the distribution or the spread. So what type of shape, any outliers, if it's symmetrical or approximately symmetrical, and then using all of that, what you can do to summarize these results to answer any questions that have been proposed for the report. So any single time you need to summarize your results, you have to have data and specific numbers to back those up. Okay, so this example here, this is taken straight out of the textbook, and there's quite a bit of set of numbers involved. To investigate the age of parents at the birth of their first child, a hospital recorded the ages of mothers and fathers for the first 40 babies born in the hospital for those years. And the years are 1970 over here for mother and father, 1990 for mother and father, and 2010 for mother and father. And the data right here is given below. Now, whether this data is true or not, I'm not too sure. And how you would read it is that in 1970, the first couple, a 23-year-old and a 29-year-old, had a baby. The second couple, a 15-year-old and 22-year-old, a bit unrealistic, but we put those ages in, or the textbook put those ages in for argument's sake. They're the second couple when they had a baby. Okay, so each age matches up for the mother and father, and again, this is done for 1990 and 2010. So there are these 4 questions that you have to answer. Now with this, you should have also been given a template that looks like this. Yeah. And I'm going to explain to you how we got this information, these box plots, how we actually got them all on the one screen, because you will be needing to copy down box plots or histograms for your SAC. you have to know how to get this information, okay? But before we get to that, we're going to use the appropriate displays and summary statistics to answer these 4 questions. First one is, how do the ages of the mothers compare to the ages of the fathers in each time period? So we're going to look at a 1970 mother versus a 1970 father. Look at the ages, look at the comparison. Do it again for 1990, and then do it again for 2010. Second question, how have the ages of the mothers changed over the 3 periods? So comparing this to this to this, okay? Is there a trend of some sort? Do the ages change? Does the spread change? That's what we're going to investigate. The third question, how do the ages of the fathers change? So same concept, but just with fathers. And then the last question, has the relationships between mothers' ages and fathers' ages changed over time? We get all of our summary statistics and draw the best conclusion that we think fits with what we have investigated, okay? In each case, you're going to write a report to summarize your findings. The writing report part is probably the most trickiest without the right information. Once you've got your foundation of information, summary statistics, everything graphed, then the rest kind of writes itself, because you'll notice that there's a certain template that we follow. Okay. All right. Now on your template, you'll notice that there is this graph here that has been created, and there's also this box here that needs to have this information put in based on the summary statistics. Now this information can be found on Compass, okay? But I will display it for you to copy down at any point. You can have your teacher pause it, or if you're watching this, you can pause it yourself. But what I want to show you is how to put this set of information into your calculator to have it display those box plots all on the one screen, okay? So what you're going to do is, if you haven't done so, turn your calculator on, go into your main screen in the menu, and you can click on statistics. If you have data already there, you want to go into edit and clear all and have that all erased. Now here we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 set of separate set of data, okay? Each category over here is going to go to each list. So in essence, we're going to have 6 lists of numbers set up, and we just got to tell the calculator that we want to show all of this information via one graph. So list 1, we're literally just going to list all the numbers accordingly, and that's what you're going to do. So 23, 22, 33, etc. You're going to make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're going to be 20 numbers for each category. So I'm going to fill this out. You're going to do the same thing. Pause the video, and I'll get back to you once all of this is filled up. Alright, I have now put every single set of data points into the appropriate list, and I've gone all the way to list 6, making sure that every single data point goes up to 20, because there are 20 numbers in each set. Okay. Now, we're used to setting the graph for this by clicking on this here and telling it that you want a med box. Okay, we're going to do box plots called med box on here, but you want to put every single list all on at the same time. Okay, so what you do is go into the first one. Sometimes by default it will be set to scatter. You want to click on this and change it to med box. You want to make sure that the draw option is on. You want to make your X list 1, because it's going to be the first one from the first list. And you want to click show outliers. Okay, Now what we're used to doing is doing one box plot, just doing the first one and going to set. You're actually going to go to the second option. Again, it will be set to scatterplot as default, and we'll have this as off. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on. Again, choose Medbox, but this time instead of list 1, you're going to obtain the information for the second graph to be from list 2. Leave frequency as 1, show outliers, and then you're going to go to the third one. Medbox, draw on, but instead of list 1, you're going to change this to list 3, and then show outliers. And as you can see here, as I go across, set number 4 to list 4, number 5 to list 5, and number 6 to list 6. I'm not going to keep going, so by default, list 7 should be left off, regardless of what the type is. Okay, so from 1 to 6, I've got all of these switched on. That's just taking each set of information from each list and going to put it all onto the one box plot. Okay, make sure every single one is got Medbox on and show outliers on. I'm going to click on set. Okay, now that's just told the calculator this is what I've set to. You now want to graph this or show the graph of all the information by clicking this button here. And as you can see, every single box plot should be set onto the one graph. Now to make it a bit easier to look at, just resize that. You'll notice that the outlier, there's only one outlier for this age here. That's for the 1970 mother. It looks like that age there is a 45 age, which is considered a bit outside of the range in comparison to the other data. But everything else looks pretty straightforward. Okay, so that's how we got this onto that template that's here. Okay, now with the actual summary statistics that is here, all you're essentially doing is you're going to put the information that your calculator can give you that's right here. Okay, so if I resize this again, okay, go back to this list, the specific information that I want to get, i.e. the minimum Q1, median Q3, and the max. Okay, I want to get it for each section, mother and father. Again, all you have to do is go calc, one variable. I want the first list, so the 1970 mother. Press OK, and here's the relative information. So the minimum, Q1, the median, or Q2, Q3, and the maximum, which is here. Okay. And then if I want to get that again, calc one variable, but instead of list 1, I'm going to get list 2, and it's going to give me the relative information for list 2, which I'm going to copy down here. Again, the minimum, Q1, median, Q3, and the maximum. You're going to do this for every single type when it comes to your set of data. For now, you'll just copy this one down into your template, and then you can use this information to help you out with the next part. This concludes part 1 of 2J. Tune in for the next video for part 2. Until then, see you soon.